so.
Yeah, okay. Fantastic. I can see we are here now. Thanks, Jerry. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. I would like to pray. Allow me to pray for a minute, and then we get the show started. Lord, we thank you because you are a good God. We thank you that you care for us in every way. Thank you for this wonderful day. For those who will be interacting with here in whichever media, for those who will join us later through the recorded versions, wherever they may be around the world, Lord, I pray for everyone. I pray as we address the issues of consumerism today, issues of investments, issues dealing with personal finance, or issues dealing with Savo. I pray that, Father, that the questions will be meaningful to all of us and the answers will be honest. That where we don't know, we shall be truthful and say we don't know and commit to such. Where we know, Lord, that we shall share the little that we do know. I pray for everyone who is watching and listening to me today. I pray that, Father, you shall be with them all and be with their families. Even in this season, Lord, as we pass through it, I pray that, Lord, you shall give us strength, you shall have us safe, and you shall give us creativity to create new and better things for the world to come. We thank you and we bless you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Asanteni sana. Asanteni sana. Kisavi Faith, I remember you too. Yeah. I'll not be able to mention everyone, but thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Leonard Mcharo. I'm the founder of Savo. Savo is a real estate investment company, and we are glad. Welcome to F.I.R.E Friday. This is our second session of this new season of F.I.R.E Friday. And last week was really exciting. It was very nice having the engagement. I actually started thinking, okay, we'll last about 15 minutes, but we took quite a while to deal with this thing. So what took most of our time last week were the questions and answers, and I would love to hear from everyone. I would love to hear the questions that are there. Today, I wanted us to focus on the idea of consumerism. Consumerism. It is said that consumerism is the most successful movement ever created. It's the most successful movement ever created. Yeah, it is bigger than all philosophies and all religions and all isms put together. It has been, I mean, it's a work of genius. And I think what happened is, in the olden days, we had the rulers who had things, and we had the masses who had nothing. Yeah, but I think in time the merchants realized, because we had the rulers, we had the merchants who are serving the rulers, and the workers were just the workers to be used to be producers of labor. But the merchants realized that you can make the common man feel like a king. You can treat the common man like a king. So capitalism started, and the customer became king. Yeah. So all of us were trapped, because when you go to a shop and you buy stuff and you're treated well, which is right, you're treated well, you begin to feel like a king. Yeah. Now slowly, and this took long. Slowly, they kept adding a little more, a little more, a little more. But I think the point of genius came when they made wants into needs. I think that's where consumerism won. When they said, okay, our needs are small, people don't need that much. But what if they want things? So they started making our wants and turned them into our needs. Once the wants became needs, then people were hooked. Yeah, and then you wanted more and more and more. And then in this world of appearances, so if I can have a nice shirt, and the king also has a nice shirt, I feel like we are sort of equal. So this thing was just cooked, and it was just propped, and we feel better and better and better. So we end up having things and things and things and piles of things. Then it becomes addictive. Then comes advertising. Yeah. So you're told that if you have this, you'll be happy. You eat this way, you're happier. You keep adding more. So buy equals being happy. Buying equals being happy. Buying equals being happy. Now, the wonderful thing is, what started as making the common man king has made all of us slaves. Because now we are all slaves to consumerism. Yeah. If you can't buy, you feel like you are lacking something, you're lacking some nutrients, you're lacking something very, very important. And then you become slaves. So the merchant today is because they buy kings, they fund kings. The merchant today is bigger than the king. Why? Because he has understood that if you can go as low as possible on this pyramid and get as many people as possible to buy and to make them feel important, then you have won. Now, I want to be clear. I have nothing against ownership of things. I have nothing against food and clothes and enjoyment. I think those are important things. The trick is, are you in control of your spending, or is your spending controlling you? Yeah? When I get money, am I in control of what I do, or is the things that I need to buy controlling me? When I see an advertisement, and a lot of these things work are in the subconscious. Yeah, when I have a dream car, and I dream this, and I dream that, and I dream that. You see? So we are taught to consume, and to consume is just that. To fire consumes. It turns things into nothingness. Yeah, we consume, we turn food into nothingness. So we become consumers and consumers. Now, there's something very interesting about the rich. The rich people, a lot of them, and if you look at celebrities, politicians, and billionaires, they are flaunting their wealth. They are flaunting their things. They're flaunting their cars and their houses and their. So every time you talk about being rich, people are seeing a yacht or a BMW or big things. But have you noticed they don't flaunt their business models? They flaunt how they make money, but they don't flaunt how they flaunt how they spend money, but they don't flaunt how they make money. I always find that very, very interesting. So that when we are all competing to see who is leading the high life, we are not competing in the making. We are competing in the spending. And being rich is not about spending. Being rich is about making. Being financially secure, being financially independent, being wealthy is really about making money. I think it was Zuckerberg who once said, it's not about looking rich, it's about being rich. Yeah. So consumerism sort of is the equalizer on the surface. That you can go to the mall, well, so can I. You can take a trolley, so can I. You can buy, so can I. You can swipe your card, so can I. But we are not equal when it comes to making. So on the surface, we appear the same, but in the making, we don't. So today I wanted us to engage on that. Yeah. I started deeply rooted in consumerism. Yeah, and I love to buy things, and I've made a lot of foolish mistakes. But over time, I realized there is more joy when you have full control, when you have complete control over your spending, and you spend when you want. But more importantly, you take time to master making. Yeah, I mean, look at us, all of us here, and we are happy. We are using this platform that we are using. Beautiful. But can you imagine the guy who actually made these platforms that we're using? That's the guy who is rich. Yeah. So every time I drive a car, I'm thinking, the guy who is making cars, what kind of money are they making? Every time I put on a shirt, I'm thinking, the lady who makes these shirts, how much is she making? And I'm hoping that in all these sessions, we are going to sort of turn our mindset from being consumers to being creators, from being consumers to being investors. Yeah, so because the consumer is king, that's the message that is sold out there. Customer is king. Yeah, that's the message you will always hear from a capitalist. I'm a capitalist. Of course, customer is king. But is customer king? Is it the customer, or is it the investor? Is it the person who is spending, or is it the person who is making? So I want us to think through that. Yeah. So I'll be happy to receive your questions. I had some here that had been given earlier. I wrote them down. I'm kind of an analog guy, so I really didn't know how to. So I've just written them here. First question is, what is consumerism? I think I have answered that question. That when someone else has made something and created something, and my job is to use it, that makes me a consumer. But consumerism has, anytime you see anything written ism, that's a philosophy. So the consumerism is the culture of spending. Yeah, the culture of spending, and now it's becoming bad. I mean, we have picked all these things from America, and it's just coming in. You know, they are giving us their fast food, they are giving us sugar, they are giving us their lifestyle, and their lifestyle is about make money today, spend it today, make money today, spend it today, make money today, spend it today. When you see those Black Friday videos and people are really want to kill each other, when you see, I don't know, some talk show host giving little gifts and people are screaming and shouting as if there's an angel has come from heaven, that is the slavery that we are talking about. That's the slavery that is consumerism. Thank you guys. Thanks for all people who are joining us. Sandra, Constance, karibuni sana. Yeah. Which factors affect consumerism? Which factors affect consumerism? I think consumerism is ingrained in us from the time we were children. Yeah. From the time we were children, we are enticed by nice things. Yeah. Do this, if you do this, I'll buy you a gift. Do this, if you do that, I'll do this for you. Then we learn that, oh, happiness is bought in a shop. Yeah. So from our upbringing to the schools to the media, now media has just blown it up. Social media has now taken it to a completely different level. Yeah. Because everybody has a nice car behind them, there's a plane behind them, the food in front of them is nice, things are nice, they're curated. Yeah. So that affects us. That affects us. I live a life of optional poverty, and some people who know me and know me that will say, Mbono unajinyima, why are you denying yourself? I'm thinking, I don't deny myself. If I'm eating meat, I like it simple and boiled. It's good for me, it's good for my health. It's, you know, I'm not very young anymore. I like my fruits. They're nice, they're fresh, they're cheaper. But people want to buy, you know, you can make something in the house. You can literally make a pizza in the house. I've seen it because I have an niece here who makes it in the house. It's so much better, so much richer, with so much more meat, so much cheaper. But when a pizza is bought from the fast food joint, now people are happy. Hey, bwana, that thing has no meat, it's so much unhealthy. So it is the conditioning. It's all about mental conditioning. That is what consumerism has come to be. And the power that goes behind this thing, all the trade deals that are made, the media, legislation, this thing we call globalization, it has just made all of us into consumers. Yeah. Think of all the new fast food joints that are being opened here from outside of Kenya. Do we have a deficiency of fried chicken? Just think about it. Is Kenya deficient in fried chicken? Yeah. But they come, and we welcome them, and we are happy. Yeah. That is consumerism. Thank you, Kinyanjui says interesting topic. Asante sana. Another question, are there any benefits to consumerism? Are there any benefits to consumerism? I would like to say there are benefits of products. The products that are made have benefits, whether it's food, whether it's items of clothing, whether it's shoes, whether it's furniture, whether it's cars. Yes. There are benefits to the products. But the pure addiction to things, I really struggle to see any benefit whatsoever. I was watching a comedian yesterday. It's called Hassan someone, a very funny Indian American guy. Actually, just last night, and he was talking about fashion, and he was saying right now the average American, and I keep using Americans because that's where the whole world really wants to be. The average American buys 68 items of clothing a year. 68. That's more than one a week. If you bought something every week, because now the fashion brands, you see now you have the big brands, the expensive brands, Kina Gucci and what have you, and then you have the other guys, Kina Zara and what have you. So it looks like those guys, isn't it? So you have $800 for a thing here, same thing, lookalike is $50. So those guys don't have, 3 seasons a year. I think 3 seasons a year is too many. Those guys have 52 seasons. They have new things coming into the shop every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And every week there's something new. And then, of course, someone is calling you on the phone, someone is texting you, someone is sending you messages, you can see it, and now you don't have to go to the shop. It will come to you. Yeah? So, 52 seasons a year. Buying 68 items of clothing. Can you imagine how much it takes to make those things? And the average number of times people wear these things is 3. 3. Because if you're buying 68 items of clothing every year, how many times are you going to wear them? 3, time to throw them away. Yeah, so I really don't see any benefit to this. There's a question here from Samuel saying, thank you for this. Thanks for this. So you have a mentorship program. If so, how does one join? Do you have a mentorship program? And if so, how does one join? I think this is part of our mentorship program. Yeah. So we have what we call our F.I.R.E sessions, which is to do them live. Not live. The one physical ones, the one that we don't do nowadays. Yeah. Nowadays, this is what we do. So we used to do that, but now because of this season, we can't do that now. So this becomes it. That's why a lot of it is about questions and answers. So we'll do this, a lot of teaching, but we'll have an internship program for the younger guys who want to join our internship. I think if you talk to our team in Savo, if you have an interest here, one of our guys will get in touch with you, and then we can sort that out, right? There's another question, and please keep them coming, because I think this thing is interesting when we get questions that are coming live. There's another question here. Do you believe in changing our spending habits to make a big difference in our lives? Do you believe in changing our spending habits to make a big difference in our lives? Yes, I do. And I think a little change, people usually look for big things, but a little change goes a long way. It is said that if you have a rocket that's taking off from Earth and going to the moon, if it misses, I think, by 1 or 2 degrees, by the time, if you have 2 rockets, one is going straight to the moon, the other one is a bit off by a degree or 2. By the time this one reaches to the moon, this other one will be, I think, 13,000 miles away, something like that. So whatever starts small. So what you need to do is just change your mind. Once you begin to change your mind away from this thing called consumerism, away from it. Yeah, and how do you do that? By learning to get joy from other things. Understanding that every time you have an innate compulsion, we say now, but it is normal. No, it's not normal. It's not normal for you to be really driven to buy something that you don't need. It's really not normal. It's not natural. It's been programmed in your mind. Yeah. So, but the beauty is that that mindset can be reprogrammed. You can begin to get joy from not consuming. You can begin to get joy from saying, you know what, I'm going to budget. Yeah, this is the money I earn at the end of the month, and I'm going to budget. Now, the mistake, let me talk a little about budgeting here. The mistake people make is you get money, and then you say, we'll do rent, and then food, and then you have a list, and then I will save. It doesn't work. You can't spend your money and save the balance. That does not work. It sounds logical, but it doesn't work. This is what you do. You pay yourself first. Say, this is my salary, and this is what I pay myself, period. Then budget on the rest. Because I think many of you listening to me, you probably earned a certain salary at some point in your life, then you got a salary raise, and another raise, and another raise. Now remember, you lived on your first salary. You could actually live. I dare say, you could actually live before you even got your first job. When you had nothing, you could live. Yeah? But as your salary grows, so does your expenditure. As your salary grows, so does your expenditure. As your salary grows, so does your expenditure. Why? Why does that happen? Because it's been programmed in your mind. It's not natural. It's not natural. It's been programmed in your mind. Yeah. So I think that's the whole thing we need to think about. But I think if you learn to pay yourself first, then it will work. There's a question here. Am I missing it? Are you a consumer or a creator? Question to consider as an individual. It reminds me of the book The Fountainhead. The question, if deeply thought, is a serious eye-opener. Very applicable. It's a very, very, very important question. Are you a consumer or a creator? It makes, and it's a mindset. Yeah, it's a mindset. If you don't create, and creation can happen. I have a friend, very, very, very huge fellow, and he used to live in Finland, I think some years back. And he says in Finland they have a philosophy that when you're born, the system is designed. I've not been there, so I don't know. The system is designed so that you're asked to create one thing in your lifetime. One. Come up with one new idea, one new poem, or a new song, or a new way of doing things. Can you imagine if all of us just created one thing in our lives? Can you imagine how much change that would make? Yeah. But our school system is not designed to make us creators. It's designed for us to get a job, in the evening, go and spend it. Yeah. Get a job so that over the weekend, go and spend it. For those of you who work in America, you know what happens. Yeah. I think their pay mostly, for most guys, is weekly. It's like what Mjengo here. Yeah. Weekly. So that you need to spend that money. Pop. Yeah. And now money is easy to come by because there are all these mobile apps. I am completely against those things. Yeah. Because consumerism, it makes you, somebody has put it here very nice, and Duarte, thank you very much. The consumer mindset is the scarcity mindset. There's this shirt, oh my God, I must buy this shirt today. Really? Yeah? Really? Nothing is going to run out. You don't need to go to that restaurant to eat that food all that time. It won't run out. It will always be there. You can go there when you have planned, when you have thought through it. Yeah? And people think plenty. Let me talk about the scarcity mentality. People always think abundance is having. I hear a lot of motivational speakers out of the church, inside the church, laymen, professionals, all these guys. And when they talk about abundance, they are talking about cars and clothes and holidays. Apana bwana. Abundance is what comes out of your head, because that is infinite. Yeah? If it comes from someone else, You have not created it. You're just a pawn in somebody else's game. Yeah. So even money is a very interesting thing. I like thinking about money because I think money has a certain kind of power. If you learn how to make money, and I would dare you guys to go to YouTube and just search how is money made or the history of money. You'll be surprised. Money does not grow on trees. It comes from thin air. It comes from thin air. Yeah. So abundance mentality is not having many things. It is being able to create things. It is being able to look at the needs of society and creating a solution for that. Yeah. That's why I think if you see the rich, and again I keep coming back to the rich. Look even at our politicians, some of them of several generations. Yeah. Babu yake alikuwa hivi, the father was a minister, the guy is a minister. The children are being taught that way. The middle class, we want to take our children to the fastest place with the fast food and this, then we're adding weight, then we are not healthy because we are just consuming, literally. Yeah, I like what he has very nice idea. He says profit follows value. Very true. If my job is just consuming and consuming and consuming, how will money follow me? How will I ever be rich? Yeah. But if I'm a creator of value for other people, again, the problem of consumerism, it puts you, it makes the thing I, yeah? The I am, I. Come on, man. I am not the center of the universe. You're not the center of the universe. Yeah? But marketing has made you believe that it's all about you. For as long as it is all about you, then you think like a little child. Sorry, I'm sounding a bit harsh. Yeah? You think like a little child. You think you can cry and things will come to you. And now that's how it is. I want it. I press buttons on a phone. Boom! Things appear like magic. No. You want to be financially independent, create value. Put your ideas into something that will generate a solution for other people. Put your money in something that will generate a solution for other people. Put your heart and your time in things that generate solutions for other people. Once you do that, then money comes to you. The Jews know that. Yeah? The Jews understand that principle. That's why I think they are like 0.2% of the global population. But go into any list, they make up 25%. Go to top 100 richest people in the world, 25% are Jews. Nobel Prizes, 25% are Jews. Why? They understand that it's not about me and what I want and my satisfaction now. No. It's about what I create to meet the needs of other people. Yeah? Let me check if we have something here. Is there an acceptable level of consumerism? Oh, I don't know. There is an acceptable level of having products to meet your needs and to enjoy. That is there. Yeah? My thing always is, where are you? If this is consumption here and you're here? Or is consumption here and you're here? Yeah? If you can control it, because I don't think there's a right answer. Say, ikifika hapa is too much. No. I'm just saying, take full control of your life. Yeah? If you can control it fully, and know, I buy when I want, if I want. There is no need for me. There is no urge. You can take it to a level of a fine art, the lack of consumerism, the control of consumerism. Yeah, the people who have done optional poverty are my absolute heroes. Yeah, Warren Buffett. There's a president of Uruguay called Pepe Mujica. Those are my absolute heroes. Yeah, And I have tried as an individual to live a very, very, very lean life. And once you discover that, then there's a beauty to it. Yeah? Two things happen. Two things have happened to me. It becomes difficult to have money problems. That might sound a little arrogant, but let me explain. Why? Because my personal needs are very small. So the amount of money I need to survive is actually extremely little. Now, because I am not focusing on consumerism, my entire mindset is focused on creating value for others. Yeah? I build houses. I am in the real estate business. I have hundreds of tenants, and I own those houses, or I have sold them to my investors for whom I'm managing. I don't own my own home. Why? Because I've not been gripped by the whole idea that I need to own a home. For me, I'll pay rent. If the house I'm living in today, if I'm to use this money to go to Savo and buy units and rent them, I'll be able to pay my landlord his full rent and have more. So if I'm to spend 100 shillings buying this house, if I'm to use the same 100 shillings investing, I'll make so much more than the rent. Yeah. So acceptable levels of consumerism, I think, is dependent on you. But I'm saying, take it as an experiment with your life, and just see how much joy. Because once you break that marriage between happiness and consumption, you'll see a beauty. Because then you realize that joy comes from creation. That's where joy comes from, not from consuming. Consuming is like that happiness, the promised happiness is a mirage. You keep chasing it, it keeps running away. You keep chasing it, it keeps running away. Yeah. Feeling of missing out is the source of consumerism. It's a disease. Yes, thank you, Samuel. They call it what? That the fear of missing out, FOMO. It's a disease. Yeah. So your friends have gone to Nakuru. So what? Nakuru is not going anywhere. I mean, it'll always be there. Also, there's a new gadget that has come up. I must get it. Even if you don't get it, they will create another next year. They will create another next month. Yeah. So whatever looks new today, in 3 months, it's an old thing. It's outdated. Whatever is a must-have today, you realize after 6 months, it's an old story. It's, ladies and gentlemen, it's a lie. It's a lie. But then the problem comes in, if I go home today, if I went home today, my mother is probably watching, and I'm driving a big car, and I have a nice suit, and kitambi meota kidogo, and my shoes are nicely polished, and I'm looking nice and sharp, there'll be a Thanksgiving prayer that I am blessed. I can tell you that for free. Baraka zimekuja kwenye familia. I can tell you that for free. If I go like this, there's a little disappointment. Mtoto tumesomesha, but this guy looks too simple. This guy looks like my neighbor's kid. With all due respect. Yeah. The problem is we have taken consumer products that generally create depression in us because of that disease is calling FOMO, fear of missing out, that consumerism disease. We have made those things into blessings. We call those things blessings. Nimebarikiwa na gari, nimebarikiwa na nyumba, nimebarikiwa na viatu, nimebarikiwa. That is a problem. That's a huge, huge problem. And once you have conquered it, and you know that baraka is what comes out of you, that is the time you become free. Yeah. So scarcity for me is not being able to create a solution. It's depending on some young man in Silicon Valley somewhere to come up with something and tell you you need it today, and you become addicted. And many of us are addicted to a lot of these things. Yeah, whether it's things we eat or use or gadgets or apps. That addiction makes you a slave. And the thing that is touching your head to make you addicted to that thing is not different from drugs. It's not different from alcohol. the hormones it produces are exactly the same. Yeah. I believe I once came to your office and you were having a packed lunch from home. Yes. When I eat all my meals cooked from home. I don't even know whether to say cooked. My meals are mostly raw. It's fruits and vegetables and nuts and boiled. And I'll tell you, because I don't take sugar, I taste everything. Yeah. Because I mean, why should I go and spend 600 bob or 1200 bob? I mean, if I went to a restaurant, if I went to, I don't know, Java, I'd spend 1200 bob on a meal. And what is it? It's sauces made with, I don't know, eggs and ghee and what have you. It's fat. It's unhealthy. The food I carry from home is very healthy. Yeah. Then the beauty is, because I eat healthy, I don't have a need to eat much. I'll eat 1 or 2 meals a day, and that's my standard, and I enjoy it. I don't feel like I'm fasting. I'm not feeling weak. I'm actually enjoying it. So yeah, thanks for that, taking note of that. We will never run out of things to buy. Yeah, and unfortunately, and capitalism knows that there'll always be things to buy, so you don't have to fear. Yeah, but imagine take that and turn it. You will never run out of things to create. So you cannot say how people have already come up with ideas. Apana, apana. You can create. Whether it's an idea, whether it's a product, whether it's a service, whether it's a new way of looking things, whether it's a piece of art or music, you can create. We all can create. I loved it when Steve Jobs said, listen, everything that you see was made by somebody who was not as intelligent as you, somebody who's just like you. For me, that was freedom. Realizing that I can create things that change the world. That's perfect freedom. Yeah. So, okay. What do you think about delayed gratification in terms of an investor in regards to the cars, etc., getting them when you can? Very good question. What do I think of delayed gratification? When I began my investment journey, my wife and I, this is, I think 16 years ago, we firmly believed that what we need to do is delay the gratification. That let's live lean now, so that when we are older, we can now buy the cars and buy all these things and move on. That's how it starts. And when it's delayed gratification, it becomes, it's a little hard, because then I'm missing out on this, I'm missing out on that, I can't do this holiday, I can't go there with my friends, I can't buy this. But after a while, you actually begin to enjoy it. You actually begin to enjoy what you have. You become gratified with what you have. After a while, you actually begin to reduce what you used to do and become happier. Yeah. So delayed gratification is a wonderful place to start. But I tell you the truth. It's like walking. The first day you walk or the first day you exercise, really, really difficult. I remember about 8-9 years ago when I started walking. A kilometer going, a kilometer coming back, 2 kilometers a day. It was hell. Now I can walk 8-9 kilometers a day. I don't lose my breath. So it's same way with investment. At the beginning, it looks like you're denying yourself. After a while, you long for it. Why? Because you get that gratification instantly. The day I put my money in an investment, I am gratified on that day. I don't have to long. Right now, I can afford to buy many cars. I can. But I have the same car for the 10 years. My wife and I, we have shared that car for the last 10 years. The time we were foolish, we had many cars, we sold them away. I have no need to buy a car. I have no need to buy a home. I have no need, absolutely no need for those things. But it all started as a delayed gratification. But in time, you realize I'm actually happy the way I am. Yeah. Okay, you should definitely visit us once more. I think this is someone from the office. Thanks for killing all the sacred cows. The halo effect has been demystified by your teaching. Asante sana. Asante sana. I think once we understand that marketing can make literally the idols, because these are our new idols, we now worship things. These things are made by people, you and I. They are made in bad conditions, but we see them, we pray for them. God, hell, I need that shoe. And Lord, you know I need that shoe. Are you seeing, we have really reduced ourselves. If we are created in the image of God, sorry, I'm now sounding spiri. If you are created in the image of God, his key attribute is creator. And that's what you're supposed to be. Creators. Yeah? The Jews, again I repeat, guys, the Jews get it. The Jews get it. If we just go with that and say, look, it does not require much intelligence for me to drive a car. It doesn't. Or to read about cars and understand them. It requires intelligence for me to start an assembly line for producing my own car. It does not require much intelligence for me to use an app. But it requires a lot of thought to create the app. It does not require much intelligence for me to sit in a restaurant and eat. But it requires a lot of thought to create a restaurant. I don't know if you're getting me. Yeah? All the things that we long for and pray for and dream about. Can you just say, okay, this thing, I love architecture. But instead of being awed by owning a big house, I'm an architect, I've built my own big house. Can I look for a way of using architecture to solve the needs of people, young people who want to live in a place of dignity while paying little? Yes, I can. And if I do that, will people come and invest with me? Yes, they will. Am I creating value for the tenant and for the investor and for myself and for the laborer and for, because I'll tell you, money is spiritual. The Jews get this fact. Money is spiritual, but not in the way that we of today think. Not that, it will somehow come. No. Money is spiritual because, let's look at what we do. I don't like advertising ourselves too much, but that's what I know. So let me just give an example. Let's look at what we do. When we solve the need of this tenant, then there's an investor who comes and buys. This investor will spend their money importing things. Yeah? And every time we're importing things, we're taking our money to other countries. Or this person was working in America. They could have bought burgers or gone for a holiday in Hawaii, but they bring that money back home. Right? The money is here. It is solving their need. They get an income. The tenant is getting value. Then we have the laborer who we are creating a job. Then we have the supplier who, so a shilling in a business sense, when you create business, a shilling is not just a shilling. Because this shilling will go around. It will come to Savo. It will help me. It will go to, it will go to the supplier. It will help them go to the laborer. Help them go to, it will go all the way. It will buy fuel. So it sort of get this thing rolling. That for me is what makes money beautiful and spiritual. Yeah, because it means everybody is trusting everybody else to create value. When the supplier does for me something, I pay them because they've created value for me. The laborer works for me, I pay them, they've created value for me. So once this thing starts, it sort of creates value. Now, it's most beautiful when the value just keeps going. Yeah? But when you're steeped in consumerism, you'll work very hard just to go and blow it away. Then tomorrow you have to work again. Because see, you have not made the money work for you. For as long as you're working for money, you are a slave. When the money is working for you, then you are a king. But if I'm working hard for me to get money to go and spend, then tomorrow I have to come and work hard to get money to go and spend, that cycle comes to an end. That cycle comes to an end. It should come to an end after 50s when people retire. Now, any man who is above 40 knows. By the time you're above 40, you are working, your boss can easily frustrate you by giving you a 28-year-old boss. But you see, you are hooked. You have a car loan, you have a home loan, you have a furniture loan, you need to go on holiday, your friends and relatives know you live at this kind of class, you have to drink in this kind of bar, you have to live, eat in this kind of restaurants. You're trapped. This thing is consumerism It's a money issue. It's a health issue. It's a mental health issue. It's a relationship issue. I mean, because anybody who's over 40, they tell you the biggest fights in marriages are money fights. Either the wife is spending too much or the man is spending too much and nobody's thinking. It just goes levels. But immediately you learn to be a creator, you are creating products, you are creating ideas, you learn to think, you learn to fail and fail early, so you learn to consult. Consulting makes you with your wife talk a little more better. You know, it begins to have very many layers. Very, very many layers. Yeah. We can change our thinking from delayed gratification to getting immediate gratification from investing and saving. Yeah, so you can actually get immediate gratification by doing the right thing. You don't have to get gratification by doing the wrong thing. Yeah, good preaching, Pastor. My takeout: you will never run out of things to create. Very true. There's always something new. I mean, think about the technology we are using today, all the jobs we are doing today. Were they there 15 years ago? Chances are no, they did not exist. Yeah. So it's create. There'll always be something new that people need. Yeah. Another question here: is 10% annual return a good starting point to start compounding? And what asset fund management company would you recommend? Now, 10%, if it's consistent, yeah, I think that's good. Yeah. Now, I look at two things. Every time I think about investment, I look at two things. One, I have put in my money somewhere. Yeah. Then this money, remember last week I said there are two rules to investment. Rule number one is never lose your money. Yeah. That's rule number one. How can we lose our money? We can lose our money to risk. We can lose our money to scams. We can lose our money to inflation. That's one thing people never look at. Yeah. So this money must be there and never lose it. That must be your rule. Whatever it is, never lose it. And then it must give a return. Yeah. So one thing I like, I will not answer about fund management because I don't understand them very well. That one thing I like about real estate is the money that I put in is inflation proof. That my capital gains every year will be higher than inflation. So my capital, where I've put it, it'll always grow faster than inflation. And then it is now giving me a yield every year, rental yield. That's why I love real estate, because I can be getting 8-9% on rental yield. I'm getting 7-8-9% on capital gains. Combined, I have 18%, 16, 17, 18%. Now that's brilliant. Yeah. But if I'm putting my money somewhere and it is in cash, and I'm getting a 9-10% return, when I need this money out, this money will be the same amount of money minus inflation. So that's what I would like to say about that. Yeah. But one thing you've mentioned here is that compounding. You just need to understand compounding. If you keep your money there and it keeps compounding, because this thing, if I put my money here, I put in 100 shillings. Next year it compounds to 115. The other year it's 15%. It's not 15% of 100. It's not 15% of 115. Then the year after, that's how it keeps growing, right? Something here, as you have mentioned, relationships. How do people bring along their spouses in the money journey? I think the best way is to learn together. Because my wife might not believe me on an issue, but they will believe Robert Kiyosaki, or they will believe some guy out there. Yeah, your husband might not believe you on this issue, but they'll believe some writer who knows. So if you learn together, very many couples have money fights. Very few couples are able to work together. We have been able to crack both. I think not because I'm good or that my wife is an angel, but I think we started the journey to learning together. So as our minds were being affected, it was happening simultaneously. So for me, the best way to bring your spouse along is to learn together, right? And if it's harder for them to see, well, start investing, start saving, let them start seeing and saying, ah yeah, hey, by the way, we are not talking about a new shirt or a new car or a new thing every time. It is about that new investment, about that this new book that I've read. When people begin to see, when they begin to see improvement of life in you, then you become attractive. Then it's easier to copy. Yeah. Someone says, kindly touch on creating a working system in company and also recommend good books on real estate developments. Kindly touch on creating a working system in a company. I'm not sure I've understood that bit, but I'll say I think anytime you want to work somewhere, or you want to set up a company, or you want to invest in a company, the working environment just needs to be absolutely right. Yeah, because see, ultimately, you work for people if you're working, or it's people you're working with if you're the one creating the environment, or it's people you're investing with if you're investing. So Warren Buffett gives some few you've also about some books. I would recommend books by Warren Buffett. They are very good. Or just go Warren Buffett quotes or Warren Buffett articles. Yeah, and it says when they invest in a company, they look for very few things. I think it's 4 or 5 things, and one of them is the quality of management. So how is the working environment in that area? Do these guys have a purpose that they are following? Do they have core values that they are following? Do they have a proper leadership structure that do they believe in something that is bigger than money? Now, once a company is that way, it's a good company to form, it's a good company to work for, it's a good company to invest in. If there's a weakness in the working environment, it is not a good company to form. It's not a good company to lead. It's not a good company to work for. And it's definitely not a good company to invest in because it will go down. Yeah. So I hope I have answered that bit. Yeah. There's a question here. When do you resume construction rural suburbs? I remember this question. Difficult. We wanted to take our guys, test them, and put them back to work. We've been struggling this whole week. We paid, but right now they're only taking hotel people. Watu wa mjengo are not allowed. So we'll try again next week. Our idea was to go back to site on Monday with Savo Studios and Coral Bells, and then maybe a week later go back with Royal Suburbs. But testing has failed, so we'll try again next week and see. If it doesn't work, we might be forced to go back to site without testing, which is something I really do not want. But now this situation will not change. So I said I'll be honest. It's one of those things that I think I'll spend a few sleepless nights to figure out what do we do. For us, going back to site is not about the money. Thank God we have enough of that. It is about people's health and safety. So please give us a few. Hopefully next week I can give a better reply to that. Yeah. For couples, the best advice I've ever got: you both bring different strengths and weaknesses. Relationships leverage on each other's strengths while making up for the weaknesses. I think that is very, very true, Ndwati. Very, very, very true. You see, I've done partnerships all my life. I think I never believed in my personal capacity to sort out everything from beginning to end. By the way, it's almost 6, so I think we'll need to wrap this up in a few minutes. Yeah. So I've understood that I'll never be able to wrap things up from beginning to end. So I've always needed partners. Now, there were times I had 2 kinds of partnerships. There's the partnership at work and a partnership with my wife. So with my wife, we invested together. What happened at work is we created the pie and then we shared it. So you take that bit, take that bit, take that. So if the pie is this big, then you have to share it in bits. Yeah. So it was division. At home, you brought what you brought in, I brought what you brought in, and it began to compound. So the beauty with the work partnership is that we shared ideas. But when the value systems became different, the ideas stopped working because you believe in this, I believe in this. At home, we learned together, so we had one set of value systems. So with the value systems, we're able to create something. And then we are bringing the money together. So we are bringing our ideas together, our value systems together, our money together. So this thing becomes a multiplication and compounding. Yeah, I think I use a lot of hand movements. Forgive me, but I think you really get it. So I agree that couples coming together creates something that's wonderful and that is powerful, right? Hey guys, time moves so fast. It is 2 minutes to 6. You have engaged me wonderfully. I have talked a lot and very animated, and I think I really enjoy this. My prayer is that you're gaining something, and more importantly, that you'll take this thing and put it into practice, right? So thanks a lot, guys. God bless. Have a wonderful weekend. Share. I think like. I don't know this for me. I think like this thing. Please share it. Please subscribe. Please invite your friends. What else? Nizo. So tufanye hivyo vile wanafanyanga social media. Thank you very much. God bless. Bye bye. Okay. So how do I switch off this? Finish.
Yes.